Sup guys, Toby here, aka RockysReef. So in this update, I want to take you through kind of my war against cyanobacteria. As you remember from the last update, I was having issues with cyano, both red and green. And what I want to do is kind of take you through that process and kind of how I got to kind of controlling the silicates, the nitrates and the phosphates, and also what I used to kind of battle the final push and finally get cyano out of my tank, and also the results as well. So let's do this. So, as I mentioned in my last update, cyanobacteria has been a real bugbear of mine over the last few months. I've had it in all of the tanks that I've had throughout reefing. It's one of those kind of bacterias and kind of slimes that everyone going and setting up a new tank, sometimes even an old tank as well, experiences, and it is super ugly. It can get really thick and it can get really stringy. Exactly is what was happening in my tank. I didn't just have the classic red cyanobacteria, I had the green cyanobacteria as well, one that I've not personally seen before. So trying to get through this process of getting rid of the cyano, making sure my levels were right, it's kind of the direction I wanted to head, and I really wanted to kind of document this because the results I've had have been phenomenal, and I've used other products like Clean in the past that have kind of had an impact, but I think the processes and steps that I took this time around really helped get the result. So first of all, what I did is that I tried to eliminate the cause or the food that was being given to the cyanobacteria. Now, depending on what strain you get, it's going to respond differently to different types of nutrients. So it could be a phosphate issue, it could be a nitrate issue, it could be an ammonia issue. My nitrates are 0 anyway. So then naturally my next turn was phosphate. So what I've been working on over the past couple of weeks and couple of months with help from one of my mentors, Mitch, at All Things Aquatic, is bringing that phosphate level down. So that's kind of part of what the nitrate dosing was about, to try and get the cyano under control, making sure it wasn't nitrate, but also getting the keto and the cheeto up to a level where I was able to process the nitrates and also the phosphate. And my phosphates dropped down from around 21 parts per billion down to 2 parts per billion. So then I moved on to silicates, and silicates is an issue that I've had in the past where the RO membranes, the filters and everything in my RO system weren't getting out those silicates. Even going through the DI resin, still wasn't able to kind of filter out some of those silicates. So what I did is got some silicate clear, dumped that in the sump, and almost the next day I could already start to see the cyanobacteria thinning and getting lighter in colour, but it didn't kick it out the system. So now I've got all kind of the core elements and sources of nutrients for the cyanobacteria under control and down to a level where I was starting to see the cyanobacteria starting to retreat. This is where I started to apply a different product, which is actually Blue Vet's RedCyano RX. It comes in a tiny little box, and this stuff absolutely obliterated the cyano. It also got rid of the green cyano as well, which is really interesting because speaking to my mentor Mitch, he kind of mentioned that he's never seen really any results from using the RX against the green cyano. But as you'll see from the results I've got in the tank, it got rid of all the green cyano and all the red cyano as well at the same time, which was really good. Really pleased with how that did. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop downstairs and kind of give you an update kind of live visually as well, so you can see kind of how the cyano was, how it entered the water column and turned my tank pink essentially with a big pink haze, and also show you some of the updated results. So let's go downstairs. So just to see if you guys can see it, so you can see down there at the bottom you've got the green cyano coming in just around here. So it's strange because it's kind of all in the shaded areas at the moment, but we've got a lot of red cyanobacteria coming in, especially on the rock work, especially as you get further up as well. I have just started using this. So using this to try and get rid of the cyanobacteria. Hopefully it's going to work. It's been in only for about half a day now, hence why water's building up ready for the big water change that's due. I did a quick sand bed clean 2 days ago and the red cyano hasn't really come back. I mean, there's a little bit in here where it doesn't get a lot of flow, but the green cyano has come back really quickly. So maybe something else that I need to deal with in terms of what's happening with the green cyano versus the red cyano that's happening up here. But we'll see how we get on with this, and hopefully it's some good news. So now all the lights have come on. I mentioned earlier that we were seeing lots of stuff in the water column. Well, now the lights have come on, you can actually see the pink hue that's now underneath all of these lights. So clearly what's happened overnight as the cyanobacteria has kind of shut down and the RX has come into play is that it's actually lifted all that cyano up into the water column. And you clearly see this pink haze that's come through the tank as the cyano is just kind of lifting off and hopefully dying as well. The filter roller should take most of this out, hopefully all of it out. You can just see the haze all over the place. Man, so clearly the RX is doing its job. It's clearly not the cyanobacteria's favourite thing at the moment. You can really see that haze. And none of the fish, as I say, are being affected by this. Corals have now opened up nicely back to where they should be, as they've now woken up. The anemones are absolutely fine. So it looks like it's actually going to work. You might see on the previous video, this was absolutely covered in cyano, bubbles and everything. Maybe a little bit too early to call because there's still a little piece here, and we are only in the first 24 hours of running this, but it looks like it's got the majority of everything off already, which is great to see. So here we are, guys, day 3, so 48 hours in, and as you can see, the pink hue has finally disappeared, which is great to see. Almost crystal clear, still a little bit of a pink hue in there, so we will be doing a water change in the next couple of hours. As you can see, all that red cyano was all over this rock, is all completely gone, all over here. Even what's really good to see is that green cyano that was hanging around down here is all gone. Up here was absolutely covered in red cyano as well. So really good to see that this RX has really worked, definitely worked. And what I think has definitely helped in this is that I sorted out my levels first. So I treated for the silicates, I treated for the phosphates, and as you can see, it's been a great result, and it's literally been 48 hours, so that's worked really well, really quickly. I'm really happy with how it's taken all of this off. And if you remember the video, there's a giant green patch down here and a giant green patch under here. There may be a little bit still in here, it's kind of more in shade at the moment, but this patch definitely has gone. So I think definitely by getting the water levels to the point where they were, with the phosphates and the nitrates and the silicates, has really helped the RX do its job. So yeah, I'm really happy with how this has turned out. So I think that's definitely what I'm going to be doing in the future if I ever get an outbreak of cyano again. Check the phosphates, check the nitrates, sort out the silicates, dosing the RX for 48 hours. Nothing seen in the first 12, and then under 24 it raised it all up into the column, giving it all a lovely pink hue, and then 48 hours in, that's all gone and disappeared. So I'll be doing a water change later, so I'll probably film myself doing the water change, so you guys can kind of see how it goes and what the filter and the roller mats look like as well, because the skimmer hasn't been on for 2 days either. That has to be turned off when you're using the RX, so I definitely recommend it. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to get all the updates on the new videos that are released. And also, if there's anything that you want to see in the up and coming videos, then please comment below any questions you want to ask at all, and I can get right back to you. To say thank you for watching, I've teamed up with All Things Aquatic, which are offering a £5 discount for every £100 that you spend. I'm going to drop that link in the comments below, so if you want that, then please by all means click on the link and they can deliver anywhere in the UK. Until then, catch you later.